Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hello everyone, welcome to Primetime Local News, Wednesday edition of the Big Show. Brett is on location at the Lloyd X tonight for the big pro-pipeline rally, so we will have live coverage from there throughout the hour. As our question of the day today, an interesting one. Hawaii has proposed a bill to ban the purchase of cigarettes until the age of 100. That is just wild.
Just no cigarettes forever.
No, unless you're
Except you're 101.
Yeah, if you reach that age, then I smoke, I suppose.
I guess.
I mean, what else are you like?
Yeah, what else are you going to do?
Exactly, but they'll probably still make them stand 30 meters away from an entrance there. Weigh in on our question of the day. Should that ban be brought here? It's interesting. I don't think it will even pass in Hawaii, but it's an interesting topic nonetheless. Okay, well, first let's go check in with Brett Holden, who's down at the rally tonight.
We are here at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds where tonight the Support Canadian Pipelines rally is going on for those who are against C69 and for the pipeline. They do have people who are going to be talking on stage. As you can see behind me, the band is on playing Sweet Caroline. We'll be talking to one of the co-organizers here in the second hour just about the organization of an event like this and the impact that this can have on our community and the impact that it has had already on our community. So we'll have that and even more coming up in the next hour. First, let's head back into the studio where Elise has a look at your local news.
Great, thank you, Brett. With a cold snap descending over the area, Lloydminster has approached record lows for temperature. The recent cold weather has been caused by a polar vortex pushing Arctic air into the area.
We've got what's called an upper trough, which is an extension, kind of like a finger-like projection out of the polar vortex of cold Arctic air. That is what's dominating the air mass, and it's really blocking in this cold dome of Arctic air over all of Western Canada.
Wind chill also makes it feel colder as it takes away the thin layer of heat on your skin. At these temperatures, it doesn't take much to the wind to make it feel a few degrees colder.
When you get the temperatures sitting around the mid-minus 30s to the minus 40s, it only takes a wind around 7 to even 5 kilometers per hour to start dropping it up to 8 to 10 degrees colder than where the temperatures would sit. So even if the winds are fairly light, which they will be, thankfully, it will still feel about 5 to 10 degrees colder with wind chill.
The clear sky hasn't helped either as it allows heat to escape. Temperatures could reach as low as minus 54 degrees the next few mornings with the wind chill. And there are some changes coming to a couple of intersections in the border city. The intersections of 25th Street and 59th Ave and 44th Street and 62nd Ave have been under construction to bring new signaling hardware in the lights traffic system.
Are LED lights just for longer lifespan, brighter lights, easier visibility. But I believe in the traffic cabinets and the controllers for the lights, they will be able to talk to the other lights within the city once we get that far for better coordination and traffic flow through these intersections.
Rogers also says that depending on the efficiency of the lights, there could be more changes to come.
You would have noticed in 2018 that we did add a turn bay on 44th Street for eastbound traffic to head south on 62nd Avenue. There is plans to add additional turn bays on that intersection, and the installation of these new lights will accommodate that.
The installations being done on 44th Street and 62nd Ave will not affect traffic too much, says Rogers, but to avoid any potential delays at 25th Street and 59th Ave to use Colonial Park or Lakeside developments. And Lakeland College is getting ready for the first prom to close up Pride Week on campus. The theme is Casino Royale, and the purpose is to throw an exclusive event that everyone can enjoy.
For those who don't really get to do prom, but at the same time, it's for those that really want to do prom, but with the person they've always wanted to bring.
Pride Week is being held for the second year, but it's now being put on at both campuses.
Lloydminster and Vermilion campus both will have Pride Week this year, and it's truly a testament that both campuses are ready to celebrate love in all its forms. It's about time.
Pride Week is taking place February 25th to March 1st, which is when the prom is. Tickets are available on campus or through the LGBTQ support group. And being surrounded by people going through the same struggles is important, and a new group in the border city hopes to start the conversation. A group of parents found the need for a group where they could meet and discuss topics like how to develop stronger relationships with their kids and learn tools to help support them as they develop. With some help from the Health Foundation, they created a safe space that allows for that open communication.
The first meeting will look a little bit at what are kind of the signs that you can see to indicate that your kid might need some extra help? What are some of the things that as parents you might struggle with?
The group will meet on the fourth Monday of every month, and Dr. Lindy believes this group will create many benefits for family dynamics.
So my hope is that we can create a community of parents that support each other, that can help each other out, that can build a stronger community. And that way our kids will be healthier because our parents will be better.
The first meeting will be held on February 25th at the Co-op Plaza building. And the deep freeze forced this year's Carnival at École Saint Thomas to take place indoors. But as Michaela Henschel reports in this week's Beyond the Classroom, the change in location is not stopping students from celebrating their second tongue.
You won't see these students with their nose in a book this week. Instead, they're flexing their French in a fun way.
It's basically a way for us to celebrate our French culture, and it's based off the Carnival that they have in Quebec.
It's a time you get to bring your family to school, and then you get to see everything going on, get to see all the different decorations around the school, and enjoy just a great time with your family and friends.
The annual celebration kicked off with the opening ceremony on Tuesday, and throughout the week, students will partake in traditional French fun despite the cold.
Usually we have outdoor games, but it's too cold for those, but we'll be playing inside all around the school, just some fun games that can help us with our French. We'll have Latia later on the week, and we have a few people come in and teach us arts.
And while Carnival is fun and games, it also helps students appreciate the privilege of speaking a second language while learning their roots.
It helps us remember that French isn't just like something we do to learn, it's a culture and we're lucky to have it.
I think it's a great thing to learn and to know French because it's part of our culture.
Michaela Henschel, Primetime, Local News.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College. Attend program information sessions and discover how you can take the lead at Lakeland. Schedule details at lakelandcollege.ca/info sessions.
And now we're going to go to Brett Holden, who is at the Pro Pipeline Rally.
Back here at the Support Canadian Pipelines rally at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds. Now, Drew Lake joins me now, one of the co-organizers of the rally. Now, Drew, let's talk about just kind of the importance of a rally like this, especially to our community.
We just want to make sure that the rest of Canada knows the blunder that Alberta's in. It's really bad around here. You know, people are losing their homes, and it's, you know, we're going on 4 years of this. The first couple of years of the downturn, you know, you could lay squarely on the blame of the price of oil, but the last 2 years is the government can take sole responsibility. It's just mismanaged policy that has got us in the boat we're in.
Now let's kind of talk about just the organization of an event like this. Obviously, you're one of the co-organizers, and behind us we have the stage where you're going to have some speakers coming up. Let's talk about that and just how this all came together.
Well, Candace reached out to me and asked if I'd give her a hand. You know, her being in Grand Prairie and all, and I'm local here, so I said, yeah, by all means. This is a cause I believe in greatly. It was interesting driving around different businesses, letting everybody know what's going on. There was lots of support. Yeah, we're gonna send all of our employees, make sure we're all there, which was awesome to hear. There was also quite a few that said, you know, what are you accomplishing? Like, are we wasting our time? And I just said to them, you know what? What's the alternative? Do we do nothing? That's not the answer either. We're tough, we're resilient Albertans, and we gotta fight for what's ours, and there's no other way to do it.
So let's talk about how it has affected you. You mentioned that this is something that you truly do believe in. Let's talk about how it has affected you.
Well, I've born and raised here in Lloydminster. I've worked in oil and gas all my life. I fortunately was able to sell our business there late last year, and I'm not currently doing anything in oil and gas, but it's made my career, and I'll be getting back into it here at some point. So, you know, a strong oil and gas sector, it means a strong Canada, and there's just no way around it.
We'll have a little bit more coming up from here at the Support Canadian Pipeline rallies. But first, let's head back into the studio.
All right, thank you, Brett. It is a cold Wednesday out there, sitting at minus 29. We've already dropped a couple of degrees since we started the show at 5 o'clock, feeling like minus 34 out there. Luckily, we didn't break any records today, as the record was set back in 1984 at minus 38, so we did not break one like we did yesterday. Looking to our satellite radar, not a whole lot of activity, just a couple of patches of precipitation out to the west, but nothing hitting our area. But as we do look to our watches and warnings, the entire map is purple everywhere pretty much as we move from Alberta into Saskatchewan, under effect of that extreme cold warning, and that is going to be in effect for a couple of more days. Temperature-wise, we're still cold around the area. Minus 25 in Athabasca currently, minus 22 in Whitecourt. Jasper sitting at minus 19, which would feel nice compared to what we're feeling currently. Minus 22 in Rocky Mountain House. Red Deer sitting at minus 23, and then as we move out up north and into the east, minus 27 for Cold Lake currently, minus 29 in Meadow Lake, minus 28 in Prince Albert, with Melfort sitting at minus 30. And that is before the wind chill. As we look to North Battleford, going to hit a nice minus 37 degrees overnight. Minus 27 is the daytime high tomorrow. Going to feel closer to that minus 50 range. Cold Lake currently sitting at minus 27, minus 36 overnight, and that is before the wind chill. Going to be closer to that minus 46 range tomorrow, reaching a daytime high of minus 25. Here in the border city, we're reaching minus 35 overnight, probably going to feel like one of the coldest nights that we have had so far, with the wind chill hitting numbers close to minus 51 degrees. Tomorrow daytime high is going to be minus 28, minus 35 is the overnight low, with Friday not getting any better, minus 25, minus 33 with the overnight low, and Saturday not any better, minus 26, minus 32 as the overnight low. We're also expecting some snowfall over the weekend. I'll have those details for you coming up in just a little bit.
Welcome back. Well, it's got a scary name, and with good reason. This disease can reduce yield in canola crop. Gerard Lampow finds out about blackleg.
These identify what resistance genes are in the canola variety.
It's a fungus that lives on old canola residue and just blows around in the wind and infects crops. So it's not a good thing.
Clint Yerke with the Canola Council of Canada says blackleg is a disease that affects canola at the early stages and takes away the yield at the end.
Blackleg, it lives on old canola residue, so the old crop, like a previous canola crop that's still in the field, usually like bits of root and bits of the lower parts of the stem. And once the weather warms up and we get some rain on those old canola bits, then they shoot out spores that infect the next canola crop.
Blackleg likes the wet conditions and then dry at the end of its cycle to kill the canola plant. Its main features is a black coloration on the stem of the plant.
We encourage producers to have some clippers, like scissors on hand when they're scouting their crops at swathing time and cutting stems open and looking for this black color. If there's black in interior stem, then that means the fungus is there taking away their yield.
Producers need to be vigilant in order to protect their yield. Unfortunately, if you find blackleg in your crop, then Yerke says you have to ride it out.
Knowing that you've got it, then it gives you better opportunities to prevent it the next time you grow canola in that field or the fields that are around it. Choosing a better variety that is suited for that particular race of the blackleg fungus. You can pick out the right resistance genes that you need to have in your canola varieties that will fight off the disease and keep the yield there.
Also, a fungicide can be used, but that needs to be done early in the season and not at the end. Scouting also needs to be done in the fall after harvest. There are 3 labs on the prairies to send plants to be tested.
2020 Seed Labs in Alberta, Discovery Seed Labs in Saskatoon, and the PSI Lab in Winnipeg.
Yerke says the seed companies are doing a really good job at building in better levels of resistance in their seed varieties.
Clubroot and blackleg, and there's even some sclerotinia tolerant varieties that are out there as well.
Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
That's your egg news. Sports is next, but first we'll take a look at your egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Taking a look at local sports now, every hockey player can speak to the importance of what their family has meant for them in their career. And this past weekend, the Lloydminster Bobcats celebrated that bond and brought players' families to town to meet their adopted families. Josh Ryan has more in this week's Beyond the Boards.
Players relish competing at home in front of friends and family. Having parent billet weekend made this recent homestand for the Bobcats even more special.
They came watch the game, and then after we had kind of like a meet and greet to introduce their parents to the team and our billet parents, and yeah, we just had a nice little dinner, so it was good.
It's a treat having both families in town, especially for players like Idaho native Camden Gallagher, who are thousands of miles from home.
I'm lucky enough that I live pretty close to home. I'm only about 2.5 hours away, but for some of these guys, their parents are a lot farther away. So it's awesome anytime you get to see your parents and get to play a hockey game for them. It's great.
Especially from how far away from home I am now. It's just awesome seeing how happy they get to come just see where we live.
It also allowed parents a more intimate look into their son's life.
Get a picture of what I'm doing every day, because, you know, over the phone it's a little hard to, you know, see all that or imagine all that, so she got to just see my room, see my house, and meet my great billets, so it's pretty cool.
Getting to catch up with their families is obviously a joy, but also a moment of reflection for the Bobcats on how much help each player has had along their respective careers.
You can't be a good hockey player without support system, and having great billets and obviously your parents from when you're 6 years old to getting up at 6:30 to those early morning practices and all the cold rinks that they had to sit in, and just to be supportive of you, let alone getting into any of the financial stuff.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports.
Beyond the Boards is brought to you by City Centre Auto Body. At City Centre Auto Body, they can fix anything, now on both sides of the border.
And now we're going to go to Brett Holden, who is live from the Pro Pipeline Rally tonight.
Well, the rally is just getting underway right now, as you can see behind us, and we're joined now by Carl Edward Fleury. Carl, let's talk about just what brings you here tonight, and just kind of how you feel about Bill C-16 or 69 rather, and the carbon tax.
Well, let's say that I don't feel too good about any kind of the bills that have been coming out lately, and especially this one also. So I am definitely in support of all our all patch business here. But the reason that I'm here, and of course, is about the Ottawa truck convoy, the United We Roll Ottawa convoy, which is going to be taken off from Red Deer on February 14 on St. Valentine's Day, which is going to be. You would like to see my poster, people? There it is. These posters were partly designed here in Lloydminster, mostly by myself and some of our partners. And this poster is about all Canadians. So there's 3 things you could do if you want to help this convoy, which was created for you. You can whether show up, or you can whether actually give to the GoFundMe page to help pay for gas, or you can pass information. All of these 3 are just as important as the others. And this is for Canada. It's actually Canada-wide. Like we have trucks coming from all directions all over. We do have all the permits for Ottawa, and we also have the the cooperation of all our police forces across the country. So
perfect. Perfect. We'll have some fun, just like you said before we went on, doing it the Canadian way. We'll have a little bit more coming up from here at the Lloydminster exhibition. But first, let's head back into the studio where Michaela has a look at your weather.
All right, thank you so much, Brett. Starting off with this shot of some very snowy dunes out there. Thank you so much for sending that in. As we look to our watches and warnings, the entire map is pretty much purple, which means an extreme cold warning is in effect for everywhere. Pretty much everywhere in purple is under that effect as we see those cold numbers continue throughout the week, and that's going to come into play for the weekend as well. We're sitting at minus 29 right now, going to reach minus 51 overnight with that wind chill. So bundle up. It is going to be very cold out there. Minus 27 in Vermilion, currently minus 28 in Vegreville, minus 23 in Edmonton. And then as we move up the map a little bit cooler, minus 28 for St. Paul, also in Bonnyville, minus 25 in Lac La Biche. Cold Lake sitting at minus 27. Pierceland also sitting at minus 27. Green Lake minus 30, minus 29 for Meadow Lake. North Battleford already in those 30s, minus 32 currently. As we look up the map, even colder, La Loche sitting at minus 27, minus 35 in Uranium City. Stony Rapids already at minus 37, and that is before the wind chill. Fort Chipewyan sitting at minus 35, minus 25 in Fort McMurray, with Grand Prairie sitting at minus 27. As we look down south, a little bit warmer, but not really by too much. Minus 25 in Medicine Hat, minus 24 for Lethbridge. Banff and Calgary both sitting at minus 20 currently, with Saskatchewan numbers much cooler. Minus 27 in Swift Current, minus 29 in Kindersley. Regina sitting at minus 28 currently. As we look to our temperatures for tomorrow, we are not warming up. Minus 28 is our daytime high for tomorrow. Like I said, starting it off at that minus 50 range with that wind chill. Minus 27 for North Battleford tomorrow, minus 28 in St. Walburg. And then as we look into Alberta, Cold Lake going to be at minus 25, minus 24 for Bonnyville. Lac La Biche reaching a daytime high of minus 23. Now here's a look at the beginning of the day. Minus 33 when the kids head off to school. Going to feel much cooler than that. But we are in for some sunshine, at least until the lunch hour, and we'll have a mix of sun and cloud there with minus 29, our number for when the kids head home from school. Minus 35 is our overnight low, with Friday not getting much better, hitting minus 25 is our daytime high, minus 33 is the overnight low, and then we're staying there for Saturday. Minus 26. Snow is expected on Sunday. We could see 1 to 3 centimeters fall, and numbers still cold. Minus 25, minus 34 for the overnight low. Getting better as of Monday. We are going to reach the teens on Tuesday. Minus 18 there, minus 26 for the overnight low. And Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud. Mostly sunny with minus 17, which is going to feel like a significant warm up compared to our minus 51 with the wind chill. Averages for this time of the year have just gone down, so it's sitting at minus 8 and minus 18. We are nowhere near that, unfortunately, but hopefully after Wednesday, we'll start to get closer to that seasonal average. All right, today's question of the day, an interesting topic as a bill has been proposed in Hawaii to ban the cigarette purchase unless you're 100 years old. So you'd have to be 100, show ID at 100 years old to be able to purchase cigarettes. So we just simply want to know, is this something we should explore here? I don't think it will even pass in Hawaii, probably not. It seems very extravagant or far-fetched. But some very interesting comments. A lot of smokers weighing in saying, ban it. It's probably the only way I'll quit.
There you
I
go.
think that was an interesting way to think of it. I just don't see it happening, but I can understand why they're proposing it.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's a realistic thought. In theory, it works, but for it to be, I think the year was 2024 was by the time that it would reach the age of 100. So maybe they'll just like kind of slowly ease into it. But
yeah, that's what they're saying, is that they'll slowly increase the age higher and higher until 2024 when it reaches 100.
Yeah.
So. Very interesting. I think when you ban anything, it just kind of creates a black market type of situation.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Interesting topic nonetheless. But now let's switch gears and look at our pets of the day. This is Skylar. Skylar has cool eyes. That was sent to us by Jana. Thanks so much for sending that one in. Next up, we have Crowley. Look how happy this little puppy is. That was sent to us by Jessica. Next up, we have Jalen and Novi, look at those two cuddling it up. Very, they're so best friends. That was sent to us by Sam. Next up, we have Reba. What a good girl.
Look at that self-control.
I know, better than me. That was sent to us by Callie. And then last but certainly not least, look at this girl, Lucy, enjoying the cold weather. That was sent to us by Janine. If you have a pet you would like to see here on Primetime Local News, send us a picture. Please include your pet's name. And if they are selected to be on the show, you'll be entered to win a $50 gift card to the Lloydminster Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Minister of Energy and Resources Bronwyn Iyer has been talking here at the rally here. We'll give you just a little bit of a listen in to what the minister has to say.
We can work with the system we have, a system that saw thousands of communities consulted with, including First Nations communities, leading up to the successful first phase of the Enbridge Line 3 replacement project, for example. It's a system that the federal government is currently relying on to get through the Trans Mountain Pipeline, or at least we hope that they get it through. But as we continue to fight Bill C-69 and Bill C-48, and of course the carbon tax, as we fight on all these fronts, and we stand with you, and as you fight on, as you're doing tonight, and making those voices heard and raising awareness about some of these threats to the energy sector, we also have to ask ourselves where our provincial opposition stands on these issues. Because the leader of the opposition, Ryan Miley, did not run for the hills when he attended an anti-pipeline rally and stood behind placards that read, "Keep people."
That has been Minister Bronwyn Iyer, who has been speaking here at the Support Canadian Pipeline rally. We'll have a little bit more coming up from here at the Support Canadian Pipeline rally, but first let's head out to commercial.
Harder from Synergy Credit Union, and first hour we were kind of talking about bank accounts and getting your kids started, but we're kind of switching gears a little bit, and we want to talk about RESPs.
Yeah.
And when is a good time to kind of get that going for a child's education?
Sounds really cliche, but it's never too early to start
Right.
saving. And for education, a great vehicle for that would be the RESP. Great savings tool for education.
Absolutely. And you hear that term a lot, RESPs, saving, putting money in that account. What is it exactly when you break it down? What is it for, and what does it really look like?
Yep. An RESP is a registered education savings plan.
Okay.
It's a program that was created by the Government of Canada to kind of encourage people to save for their children's post-secondary education.
Right.
It's set up as if I'm the subscriber, I'm the contributor putting money aside for my son. $2,500, the government will contribute or give me grant of up to $500.
Right.
So I can do that annually, and then for every $2,500, they're putting the $500 in, and then once in college, they can take what's called EAPs or educational assistance payments.
Right.
And that can be used towards tuition, books, living expenses, anything like that. Just gets deposited into the child's account as you pull it out.
Right.
So.
And my next question for you is who can put in money for an RESP? Could it be anyone, say like a grandparent wants to, comes into money, wants to put it towards that?
Yep.
Are they able to do that as well? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Grandparents can also set up their own RESP for their grandchildren or something like that and can contribute that way. You can contribute, so your dad can put money in for your children.
Right.
What we do recommend though is he just give the money directly to you and you put it in.
Right.
It's just a lot more paperwork. There's a lot more involved in other people contributing that isn't the actual account holder.
For sure. And is there anything that people may not be aware of when they kind of start an RESP? Anything that they should know getting into starting this?
Yes. RESPs, there are tax implications when you do a withdrawal from an RESP, so we just recommend that you meet with a tax expert before you do any withdrawals coming from that. And then the other thing is RESPs are set up to contribute you can contribute longer than 18 years, but say for my son, I didn't know about them until he was 4.
Right.
I can contribute. I can make up for those 4 years that I missed a year at a time. So in year 4, I set it up. I can make up for year 1 by contributing $5,000 and getting $1,000 in grant money, but I can only do that for a year at a time. So by the time he's 8, it's as if I've had that RESP in place since he was born.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to do that way. There would be a certain point where you would hit where you wouldn't be making up the grant money, but yeah, definitely nice that you can make that up.
For sure. And another question is, how accessible are they? So say the money is sitting there, and for a child, how can they kind of reach into that and take it at certain times throughout having this RESP, or is there a certain...
Generally, the plans are pretty accessible, easy to get into, and the investment incentives are very strong. There's no other investment on the market that you are guaranteed to get a 20% return on the deposit. There are a few catches when you are doing the withdrawal. If the child chooses not to attend a post-secondary education, you can get your contributions back tax-free.
Okay.
But at that point, the grant money would go back to the Government of Canada. Also, it sounds bad to say only, but if a withdrawal isn't made within the 36 years of the actual setup date of the account, the government can come back and request that grant money back as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good to know, good to know. And one last question for you. Is there any other saving plans that parents should know about, that there are other options to use just as a second plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A very underutilized savings tool is the RDSP, or the Registered Disability Savings Plan.
Okay.
This is a great plan for those that may need savings, specifically for people with a disability. It sets them up for long-term savings down the road. Depending on your income, for every $1 you put into savings, the government could deposit up to $3 back.
Right.
There's also something called the Registered Disability Savings Bond for low-income families that could give you $1,000 annually for 20 years to put into savings.
Yeah.
And anybody can contribute to an RDSP, families, friends, neighbors, anything like that. It gives those who want to help the ability to do so.
Awesome.
And like I said, very underutilized vehicle. Not a lot of people know about it, so definitely go into your financial institution and ask them about it, because it's there to be used. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for all the information.
Thank you.
It's a lot to take in,
Sure
so feel free to go and talk to you guys.
Absolutely.
As you're all available to talk to.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for coming in today.
Perfect.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thanks.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
All right, well, the new series that is taking Netflix by storm, Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, has inspired many to start decluttering and organizing their life. So joining us for today's trending panel is Katie Hudson, a professional organizer out of Edmonton. Want to thank you so much for joining us here on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's start off with, I know you've read the book, and just kind of want to get your thoughts on that and the show and how it's kind of taking it by storm. Everyone's looking to organize now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's wonderful. I know I've heard from a lot of my clients and people that it's inspired them to kind of get in there and start organizing their own place. So that's awesome. And yeah, the book I read originally when it came out a few years ago. So it's really cool to see the Netflix piece of it now come into play.
Yeah, definitely. And so how did you get into organizing? Because I know when I think of it, it seems very daunting. So how did you get into it, and how did you turn it into your now career?
Yeah, well, I've always been quite organized. So I've enjoyed doing it since being a child, and organizing my toys and organizing my room. And actually, when I had first read Marie Kondo's book, I was so excited. I went home and I Marie Kondo'd my whole house. And I started getting kind of deeper into organizing, realizing I could dig a little deeper, and kind of invested in that for a couple years. And then last year, I decided, you know, I love organizing so much, but I had helped a few friends organize, and I just loved that. So to get into time with other people and keep organizing.
Yeah, definitely. So from the obvious benefits of organizing, having a clean space, what are some of the other benefits people can really get from organizing, you know, not only a section, but their entire lives?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that the clean space and the decluttered space where you're not stressed anymore is a very direct perk of organizing. So you get that feeling where you have a nice place to live or a nice place to work. But I think it really goes deeper. I think that, it starts to inspire you to maybe organize other parts of your life. It allows you to let go of items that might be holding us back and we don't even realize. So, for example, maybe something from an ex-partner that you've been keeping. By letting that go, you can actually let those feelings go and start healing in that way. Or you're working in your office and you're more efficient, you get more stuff done, things like that. So I think it actually starts really feeding into your life. I think you start to become a little bit more organized and happier. And if nothing else, you have a nice, organized, inspiring place to live or to play or to work, and positivity comes from it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. We're almost out of time, but I just want to know, if someone is looking to get organized, where's the place they should start?
Yes. Well, definitely, if you feel inspired in your own art, you absolutely can. I would recommend starting with one category, as Marie Kondo does, and just kind of tackling that. But it's okay if you need help. You need to call a professional. And sometimes having that outside eye, you need to help work through things, and you aren't the only one that's and okay.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, you are the professional, so where can people go to find your services online?
Absolutely. So I'm called Organizing Media Online, so organizingmedia.com. And you can follow me on Instagram, Kate, and you'll get the information.
Awesome. Okay, well, want to thank you so much, Katie Hudson, for joining us today talking about organizing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We are here at the Support Canadian Pipelines rally at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds. Today we spoke to some of the organizers of the event, as well as some of the supporters of the rally here. We spoke to one man who is going to be going all the way from Red Deer to Ottawa. He's going to be updating as things go along. And we do have some speakers on the stage right now. So the event is still going on. So if you want to come down, please come on down and show your support here tonight. That'll do it for me here at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds. As I mentioned, the Support Canadian Pipelines rally is going on here tonight. Tomorrow I will be at the Canadian Brew House, where there will be steak night for suicide awareness, and we will be there talking to some of those affected and some of the organizers there. That'll do it for me here tonight. Let's head back into the studio where Michaela and Elise will wrap up the rest of tonight's show.
All right, thank you so much, Brett. We are in for a very cold night, as temperatures reaching near minus 51 with that wind chill overnight and into the early hours of tomorrow morning. So bundle up out there. Make sure your cards are plugged in. A daytime high not getting much better. Minus 28 is our daytime high tomorrow, with the overnight low reaching minus 35, and not much better over the weekend. Minus 25 and minus 26 on Saturday. Minus 25 rather on Sunday, with expecting snow about 1 to 3 centimeters there. Warming up a little bit on Monday, minus 21. I feel like that'll feel significantly warmer compared to our numbers from recent days. Minus 27, and then right into the teens on Tuesday. Minus 18, minus 26 as our overnight low, and then Wednesday, mostly sun with a little bit of a cloud cover there, but minus 17. That's going to feel significant when the wind chill's almost at minus 51 to feels minus 17.
I'm legitimately excited for minus 17.
Like a tropical little getaway. It's going to be.
Everyone's going to be in shorts. It's going to be crazy.
Honestly, I saw someone in shorts the other day. You are crazy. It is too cold out there. Well, definitely plug in your vehicles and make sure that you
bundle up.
Bundle up. There we go. Have a good one, everyone.